the Euro NCAP is now grading that relationship. If your car buries a critical control in a touchscreen menu while you're stressed on a highway, it has failed the collaborative mission before the conversation even happened. And this is about buttons. This is about physical buttons. This is about that user experience. And so if you think about that actually from the Distracted Driving Awareness Month lens, this is not an abstract policy debate. This is actually a standard saying that cars now own the interface and it cannot be distraction.
Exactly. Yeah. And it has gone beyond just this kind of, silly debate amongst car enthusiasts of like oh, all the young kids and their touch screens, it gets too advanced, but then like, oh, those old people have too many buttons, they don't know how good it is to be able to use all this stuff. And there's this whole, that's like, so some enthusiasts want, all buttons and a manual transmission and so on, and which has its own charm, and I do like many aspects of that. And then there's the other part of like, oh, more and bigger, better touch screens and so on. But now this has now made its way into policy making.
That's right.
How about that? That's when you know it has that's how you know it's gone far beyond just forums on the internet or people disagreeing in comments. Yep. This has now made its way to policy making of vehicles having physical buttons, or meaning buttons and dials or switches, so on, just more tactile controls. That has made its way into policy making of how do we decide how safe a new car is.
That's right. Yeah, that's called the Euro NCAP's distraction mandate. And so that actually starts in January of 2026.
Yep.
Manufacturers cannot achieve that highest safety rating without providing physical switches for turns, signals, hazard lights, the horn, windscreen